Hi there, and welcome to Whimsy Plays. If this scene does not give you cozy vibes, I don't know what will. Today we are going to be playing a writer simulation game called Writer's Rush. It was developed by Frogstorm and it was released this year as of January 22nd, 2024. And for a quick game description, so 24 writers and you're one of them. Challenge yourself to become the best writer in the world, write books, create characters, choose endings, team up with rivals, answer letters from readers, and don't let other authors beat you. So I actually played a bit of this game, maybe just about an hour of it. Wanted to get a sense of if it was going to be a game that I liked and a game that I wanted to share. So I wanted to start by saying I actually have played this already, but what I thought I would do for a video is kind of go through it for a good, I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour, at least maybe going through a couple of rounds and kind of giving you the lay of the land on kind of the gist of the game. But also I'm hoping to give you some tips and tricks to get you started as well. So hopefully this is helpful to you as you dive in. I was really intrigued by this game because I am actually in the process of writing a book as well. So it was really interesting to kind of see some of these moments of a writer come to life within the game. And the game actually has a ton of different kind of concepts that you can pick from and plots and all of these things. So you'll see it when we get into it, but they have a ton of fun kind of like book concepts and ideas that we can pick and go through and see how they perform. So with that, I already went through my settings and I'm actually going to start, actually just let me make sure the tutorial is on here. Okay, great. I wanted to make sure you guys saw that. So we are going to call ourselves, no surprise here, Whimsy Plays, and I think age is fine here, and then I'm going to actually do exactly what I did last time, is this pedantic, because it feels very much like me. It feels very much like a perfectionist who is going to take their time doing all of the things, and so speed here is going to be really slow, but you know, everything else is going to be done a little bit better. But I just wanted to share some of these other options with you. So there's regular, no extra changes. Student goes really deep into research. Creator has some modifiers around sci-fi and speed. Romantic has a plus for drama, but really poor on editing, I guess. And then the slacker is very much negatives on all of the things, except surprisingly has a lot of luck. So, you know, pick which one is right for you, and let's jump in. Oh, make sure. So the one kind of feedback I have for the game is that, as you can see, they have a ton of men, and a very small amount of women that we can pick from here. I'm going to stick with who I went with, which was this gal here. So hopefully they update that. The other piece to that is you'll kind of see when we have the option to start creating our character for the book, there's only male protagonists, so no females right now either. So I was kind of bummed to see that, but hopefully the devs will be updating that soon here as well. Okay, so it's gonna kick you right off into the tutorial. Essentially you're starting at level 6 and basically working your way down to level 1. And so you're competing with 4 authors who are basically on the same level as you, the same playing field. And for each level, you'll have a goal. So goal 6 here is to score the most prestige points. 2 players with the most prestige points will progress to level 5. So that's what it means when it says you're kind of competing with other authors here. So start the race. Welcome to Writer's Rush. To pass level 6, you must score more prestige points than other players. Prestige points are mainly awarded for writing books. The better book, the more prestige points you get. Let's take a look at the game's navigation. So this made me laugh. You'll kind of see why, but it starts just kind of giving you details about what everything is. And I specifically laughed at this bubble here. Some buttons, thank you. But yeah, we have our indicators here, so our prestige points, money, and then I think our audience score too, which you'll kind of see come to life a little bit later. That big plus button there is where we actually start getting started on our next project. You can pause it. You're not really doing that a lot in the game outside of if you kind of want to look at some of the book research or the sales of each of your books, or even, you know, as you're responding to emails that will kind of pop up randomly down here from some of your readers, your fans, your haters. And then current players over there, ratings. So your stuff will start populating here versus the authors that you're competing against. I really don't look at this game log a lot. It's basically just giving you updates on kind of the stages that the other authors that you're competing against are in. But there are statistics over here that I'll show you a little bit later that are kind of interesting to look at and really help you kind of like diversify who you're writing for, the types of genre, and all of that. So I know that's a lot of info, and a lot of that will make sense, and I'll make sure to pause and go through all of that as well. So you start playing in 1996 at level 6. After 4 years, players who have scored more prestige points progress to level 5. To write the first book, click the plus button. So we already talked about that. If you're using your keyboard, you can use some of these buttons here as well. So we are about to get started here, and we're off to the races. So you're going to see a bunch of stuff happen on the screen right now. It's basically telling you what all of your competitors are doing, and just for this purpose, so we have all of them actually right now are kind of in that writing stage, and you can see what they've started to write about. So Pablo here is writing about sci-fi, religion. These symbols will make more sense to you in a second here when we start writing our book. But essentially this is saying that he's writing to both male and female and to all ages. So just a good thing to keep tabs on as you're thinking about what kind of book you want to write. And so let's get started. So genre selection. I am going to do... I'm gonna do, so what, they're all writing, so they're writing sci-fi and crime. I think I'm gonna do fantasy. And so then what comes up next is theme selection, and you can only pick one here. So if I'm writing fantasy, let's see, I'm thinking through maybe like elves or mysticism, magic, myths, werewolves, but I think I'm gonna do mysticism. Sounds kind of fun to me. As far as target audience, so here's what I was telling you about. So now you can start picking like who the book is for. So you have both male, female, or just male, or just female. And then you can pick ages too. So do you want it to be applicable to all ages? Do you want it to be kids, young adults, and then seniors? So I think for my book, I'm going to keep it gender all, but do young adults. That kind of seems right to me for fantasy. And then here is where you can come up with the title of your book. I am very much a perfectionist and would probably spend way too much time doing this. So what I'm actually going to do is use this randomizer here, which is so nice. and come up with something that feels like a good fantasy book title. So, Angel in the Crypt, For Us, Wizard's Blood, Prophecy of the Stars. That sounds right, right? So we're going to keep it at that. And then this is basically telling you it should take about 61 weeks to complete the book from start to finish. And here's where you can conduct research. I highly recommend doing that. And you'll kind of see why in a second here. But if you didn't want to do that, it greatly kind of like decreases the amount of time that it takes to write the book. So let's confirm that. And then you're going to see this starting to run again. As you can see, we are orange here. We are in the research mode. So that's going to go off for a little bit. And finally, we'll get a pop-up that tells us essentially how the research went. So research completed and status was success. So here's a little kind of like tip and trick here, or tips and tricks for the game, is that when I actually played this for the first time, I chose something different, and my status ended up being unsuccessful. So what this essentially means, as far as I can tell, is if you pick the right genre and match it with a theme that makes sense for the genre, if whatever this is, the algorithm thinks it's a good combination, you basically get, a success. So you want to pay attention to those things, because when you have a success for research, I think you're gonna start seeing that it means that you're moving in the right direction. Let's just say that. So we had a positive success here. So because of the research that we did, our errors are going to go down, our research experience is going to go up, writing experience is also going to go up, and then we're going to write the book a little bit faster too. So pay attention to this little post-it note here, because this will give us some good information that you'll be able to use later on. So what we learned is that fantasy and mysticism is a perfect combination. So we did well here. And then also mysticism and young adults will have a major effect on sales. So that's also great to know. And then the Necronomicon by Howard Phillips Lovecraft is a fictional mystical text describing ancient gods and magical rituals. Okay. So let's click OK, and then that gets us from the research stage to the planning stage. And here's where I'm saying you can start to get into more details about your characters. Unfortunately, as of today, they only have the option for male. So here's where you can pick the name. Again, you can, if you have something in mind, you can write it here. I'm going to use the randomizer. Hector Storm Mage. Eliar, Kalsar, Lord of Shadows, Ezra, Ezran, Reaper of Darkness, Siren, Vander Stargaze, Prophecy of Stars, Vander Stargaze. I don't know if I like it though. Raynor, Severin, Mindy Wolf, Star-Lord. Sorry guys, I just want something Golden Fire or goes. Okay, let's go with that. Although I kind of want a last name. True Edge. Let's just go with that. Rhaegar Stormeye. Okay, and so then here's where you're starting to really put in the weights of kind of what the weight, I guess, of these different things will come to life in your book. So is your book going to be really heavy in plot, or is it really going to be heavy in setting? What I've been finding, again, here's kind of like a little trick here, is that it seems like if you have a really low dialogue, you kind of get nixed points there. So I would just keep that in mind. Try not to go too low there. So I think what I'm going to do is, because it's fantasy, I do want to amp up the settings a little bit, right? Because we do want to talk about the world. And then I think I'm going to even out plot and dialogue. And let's just see how that goes. So you can kind of, the bullet points, you can read these just to give you more information about what exactly those things are. And we're going to click next. And then here's where you get some more options to really get more granular and kind of what the book is going to be about and how it's going to come to life. So fantasy again, and more about mysticism. So do I want the book to be more emotional tension or action? I think I actually want to go a little bit more emotional tension and then some action. So let's do this. Do I want more intimacy or do I want it to be epic? So intimacy, limited setting, limited number of characters, psychological complexity. Epic is more grand scale, multiple characters, fateful events. So again, I feel like I want to lean more epic, but also, so maybe we'll do a little bit more. We'll do 62 here. And then do I want it to be a simple plot or a complex plot? So complex is twisted structure, deep subtext, complex literary style, or a linear structure, simple motives. I think I want to lean towards simple, especially if we're going towards obviously like a young adult. So I'm going to actually do something like that. And let's see how that does. So then again, this thing's going to start rolling, but we got our first duel. So duels seem to pop up every level that you get, and essentially it is one of the authors that you're competing against is basically going to make a bet that either their book is going to be better or your book is going to be better. So here we have Miss Pitt here, who is challenging us to a duel for $702. And so duel is if the rating of your next book is higher than the rating of your opponent's next book, you will receive the 702. So if she writes a book with a higher rating, I lose that money, which not looking so great here. So I'm actually going to accept this duel because I'm feeling really good about my concept here. So let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, this, like I said, will start running for a little bit. So you know, again, you can kind of watch the progress of all of the different authors there and kind of where they're at in their progress to complete their book. So now after the planning, we are finally in plot selection. So based on your selected genre and theme, as well as your abilities, the following plots are available. So I think they make this call out to your abilities. As you kind of progress to different levels, you'll unlock more things, and so you'll start to see more options come up here for various plot selections. Right now we only have 3. I think next level you'll get 6 and so on and so forth. So let's see what we have here. Robbers of the Fortress. So Rhaegar, a 30-year-old commander of the elite Royal Guard squad, is tasked with neutralizing robbers that terrorize border towns in the vicinity of the Fortress of High Rock. Okay. Rhaegar, a hermit traveling around the country, finds himself in a small village. Tired and hungry, he decided to drink water from the well. Okay. I feel like that's setting up something. And then School of Magic. Rhaegar is a boy with a difficult fate. One day he receives a mysterious invitation to a school of magic. I feel like this is the one, right? Prophecy of stars, fantasy, mysticism. This one feels like the right way to go. So we are going to select that one. And again, we are kind of off to the races. You can actually look up here to see kind of what's actually happening. So that's just kind of fun to keep tabs on. But everything is pretty stagnant right now. Okay, and then once we're done with that, we get into the climax selection. So that is kind of the highest arc of your story right now. What is that moment? What is kind of like that ultimate kind of big moment that happens, typically right in the middle. So for the selected plot, the following scenarios are available. So we have principal. Rhaegar starts attending the classes. He soon finds out that the principal is an evil wizard who wants to take over the world. Okay. Gift. Rhaegar starts attending the classes. He soon discovers that he can control the elements. One of the students decides to steal his gift. Interesting. And Rhaegar becomes one of the best students at the school. His success makes other students jealous and they try to kill him. I am very interested in this one, the principal. So let's go with that. And so, again, you'll kind of let this thing run, make progress. And soon here we'll get one last pop-up. That's going to be the ending selection. So be careful, the ending will directly affect the reader's perception of the story. So again, it looks like we just have 3 options right now. Again, as you kind of progress, you'll start to see more. So friends. Rhaegar dies in a battle with the evil wizard. His friends continue to fight for justice. Rhaegar defeats the evil wizard and saves the world. That seems nice. Or Rhaegar refuses to attend the School of Magic because it doesn't have Wi-Fi. He runs home. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with world. That seems like a nice, happy ending. And I feel like it ties in a little bit with our book title. So let's do that. And then we should be getting close to actually finishing the book. So looks like our competitors here are in the editing mode, which we will be getting to shortly. We are still writing and we are finally complete. So almost done. You can publish your book right away or get it edited first. So again, I highly recommend trying to get it edited as much as possible. So you'll see here we have 50 airs, and we want to try to condense that as much as possible, although as you can see up here we don't have any money. So essentially, if you go into start editing, you yourself can edit the book, and then once you get more money, as you can see, you can start unlocking working with different editors. So to do it ourselves, we need about 2 weeks to edit, and we have a chance of correcting 0 to 16 errors during kind of like each editing period. So I'm gonna select myself and I'm gonna say start editing. So again, this is gonna add about 2 weeks of time onto our book, which is fine. We're a little bit behind. No, we're actually right in line with where everyone else is. So then you'll kind of just have these random pop-ups, but they're actually really important to pay attention to. So bestseller, J.D. Balin released Oliver and the Secrets of the Asylum, which became a real hit. Perhaps we are dealing with a book that will change the world. Congratulations. And so here's what you want to pay attention to. This global modifier for the next 2 years is that books about drama will have a 10% increase in sales. So good thing to keep in mind for our next book. Maybe we actually think about doing a drama. So we'll push OK there. And then our editing session was a success. We were able to fix 9 errors. And I think what I'm gonna do is just try to do that one more time to get this down. Our errors are right up here. I'm gonna try to get that down as much as possible. So we're only able to kind of update 6. I think I'm going to do it one more time just to get, again, that down as much as possible. And then we will finally be able to down to 7, or sorry, we fixed 7 errors, so now we have 28. So I think what I'm gonna do is publish. You could, you know, continue editing, but I think I'm just gonna move forward here. And this is basically just a recap of, you know, how much time it took you to do each of these things. And as you progress, as these bars kind of advance, you'll kind of unlock new things like I had mentioned before. So we didn't technically unlock anything yet, but we're super close within the writing stage and the research stage. So let's push OK. And then you'll start by getting your critic reviews. And these are actually looking pretty good. I've seen much lower. So the first critic reviews are out. Fiction Frontier says totally forgettable. Okay, sad. Lore Ledger, the author couldn't have chosen a better theme and genre. Thank you. And then Snark and Story said, good idea, poor execution. So looks like a little bit of a mixed bag there. So you'll get your critic reviews first, and then you'll actually get reader reviews. So readers, let's see. Good plot, but a math quiz is more exciting. Sad. Okay. Read it, forget it next. Okay. And then the book is slightly better than furniture assembly instructions. Okay, not looking so great. So overall, with our critics reviews and our reader reviews, it looks like they were smack dab the same at 4.7%. So essentially, we need to have a higher average review here than, I believe, the gal who we're dueling against. So let's see. I think we won. So let's just take a pause here. New generation of devices. So here's another little perk to kind of keep in mind, and I'll show you this in a second here. So this is just basically saying today the lit tech company introduced a new generation of typewriters. Authors worldwide eagerly anticipates the opportunity to immerse themselves in a new era of creativity with these innovative devices. So let's pause real quick here because I just wanted to talk through a couple of things. So again, we are orange. So you can see we kind of published our book here and went way up, and I believe this means that we beat her. She's down at number 4 right now, so did really well, even though we didn't have really great reviews here. But here's that little like section that I said is interesting to look at. So this is kind of showing what your sales looked like week over week. And then this shows you what your audience breakout is. And this is important if you want to kind of like diversify a little bit. Maybe you were making a lot of books that were really geared towards women. It might be worth, for example, re-looking at doing a book who targets men. Our audience, we were doing both, so we're just about 50-50 there. And then this will also show you the age too. So our book, for example, was geared towards young adults, so it makes sense here that would be the biggest percentage that we see here. So this is all kind of fun to look at. The next thing you can do is also go up here, and this is going to give you just a review of all of the books that you've created. So you'll start seeing more books populate. You can even click into them, and it's going to give you a bunch of different information here about how the book performed. So the other thing you can do is kind of what we saw pop up right at the end there, is that you can buy typewriters. So we have our grandfather's typewriter, but if you want to upgrade, we have all of these other options. So what we have 1.3 right now. We could technically unlock one of these. So this Cobra 2000 is going to give us an increase in speed for 500, but this Blitz 55 is going to give us the speed but also an experience modifier. So I might come back to this, but for now I also wanted to show you this. So if you weren't super pumped about some of the themes that were available, you can actually buy the ones that you want. So let's see, I have 1.3. Let's see if there's any that are popping out to me. So pirates, antiquity school, vampires. I'm gonna just stick in this 100 range for now. I'm gonna do vampires, so let's buy that. And then let's also buy, no, we'll just keep it there for now. You can also take courses, so I think this will tell you, yeah, so basic grammar course, you'll decrease the amount of errors that you'll have for each book that you write, and it does take a while for you to do this course, so just keep that in mind. It kind of adds on to your time frame for completing books. Actually, just before we move on, I wanted to see, so some of the other courses, I haven't looked at this one actually too much, or I haven't even looked at the course section all that much. So it looks like you can actually increase specific genres too, so that's cool. Psychology training, so you increase horror, fantasy, research, audience growth. So yeah, definitely check these out. On top of themes, you can also kind of just go one step deeper and pick some different focuses that you might want to talk about too. So I think again here, like suspense kind of seems fun to me, so let's buy that. And then I think I'm actually going to buy this new typewriter as well, but that's not gonna leave me with a lot of cash for editing, so actually I think I'm just gonna buy this one to increase my speed. And then yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is go through maybe one more book with you guys. I won't go into as much detail as I did this first time, just because you should kind of have at least the gist of kind of what you're doing now. Before we start hitting play again, I just wanted to show you a couple more things. So this is basically just current status of where we are at. So again, kind of what I mentioned before, writing and research. We're almost at that point of unlocking kind of a new level for those. So we'll get some extra kind of things that we can pick during those phases. And yeah, and then the other thing is a cute little thing that they do in the game, which is that you get mail from either fans or haters or whatnot. So from Paul Pond, welcome to Writer's Rush. For over 300 years, the tireless and mysterious Wally Mad Dog Shakespeare has been winning the writing competition. Everyone fears him, but no one can challenge him. Your ultimate task is to defeat him and take first place in the tournament. You start at level 6 in 4 years. Oh, so that's just the intro, the kind of intro mail that you get. So here he is again. Hello, congratulations. It turned out pretty good. I will be happy to follow your work, so we can thank him for that. Caden says, what is this blatant nonsense? You're supposed to be a writer. Is this total bullshit? So you have two options here. I always say kill him with kindness. I'm going to say thank you. And then thanks for the emotional ups and downs from Julia. So I'm going to say thank you there as well. And this just kind of gives you a view of kind of where you're stacking up. So for the level, obviously we hit number 1 here. For all, we're actually doing a great job here. We're right up in 2nd place right now, actually tied with this JD Ballin. So that's pretty cool. So keep an eye on all of that as well. And yeah, okay, so let's push start, and we are going to get our next project going. So let's click that. And if you remember from that that insight that we got, drama was going to be up in sales for the next couple of years. So we're actually going to do drama, and secrets is standing out to me. Betrayal. So betrayal sounds fun. Let's do that. And we are going to, this is going to be very, what's the word? I feel like I'm stereotyping women right now, but I think I'm going to cater to women, and we're going to do adults. I haven't had anything pop up here yet. You might get stuff that pops up in later levels, but I am curious to see what ends up popping up here at some point. So for my drama about betrayal, let's see, Asylum in the Bookkeeper. She in the Secret. She in the Secret. Okay, I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense, but it kind of matches with our theme, so let's go with it. So what, we are doing drama betrayal, and we have not had a glimpse yet of what everyone else is doing. Although they may have started before us. So, oh nice. So we also got another success for research. Drama and betrayal is a perfect combination. That makes a lot of sense. Betrayal in adults will have a major effect on sales. Betrayal can serve as a catalyst for personal growth and character development. Okay. Okay. So keep that in mind. Personal growth and character development. So I think for drama and betrayal, we want a lot of dialogue, right? We don't need that much of a setting. We want more dialogue. And maybe let's do that. Okay. Oh, shoot. This title is not going to quite make sense with our protagonist, but okay, it's just Warren Barnett. Let's do that. Okay. So I think it has to be more emotional tension, right? So let's do that. Intimacy. I think we're gonna do something like this. And simple motives. I think I'm gonna keep this 50-50. Linear structure, simple motives, simple twisted. Maybe I'll go a little bit this way. Okay, let's try that. So, writing process. Going. Okay, here we go. So, Pablo is doing drama mysticism. So he's also doing drama. So he saw the insight that we did. Okay, so plot selection. We have love and crime. 1926, Warren Barnett, a young salesman working at a pharmacy, falls for a mysterious woman who robbed his store. He decides to find her, plunging into a world of crime and revelations. Okay, I like that one. Backstage games. Warren Barnett, lover and advisor to Empress Esther, has been unfairly accused of treason. Lover and advisor to Empress Esther has been unfairly accused of treason. And then the alchemist. So in the 13th century, a famous alchemist is murdered in a small English town. Warren Barnett, a brave knight, agrees to help with the investigation. The alchemist was his friend, and Warren is eager to find the killer. I think I'm going to do love and crime. Feels like it makes sense for um, for our um, for our title and kind of theme here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, I'm feeling good about it. It looks like Andre is doing fantasy family, I think that said. Yeah, fantasy family. Okay, so what is kind of that big moment in our book? So Warren finds the woman, her name is Sarah, and together they plan a new robbery. He lies that he likes this idea so as to not disappoint his beloved and appear cool. Okay, diving into the world of illegal venues and dark alleys, Warren finds Sarah but discovers that she is part of a gangster group. And Warren looks for the girl over the city but never finds her. I think we're going to do danger. Type of climaxes. Funny, one of the climaxes might make readers laugh. There's no knowing how that will affect the rating though. Okay, I'm going to stick with what I have. Danger. Okay, so Zara Pitt released Under the Stars of Hope. Despite the low ratings, the book is selling well. Readers seem to miss the drama. Okay, yeah, and so that's what we're doing, so that's great. So she wrote about drama and racism, but it doesn't look like this. Doesn't look like sales are doing too well. She's kind of staying in that low spot there. And then we also have Andre doing horror and a love triangle. Interesting. Okay, so the ending. Warren rejects Sarah, choosing law and morality. He's left heartbroken but keeps his honor and virtue. She in the secret. Drama, betrayal. Okay, so Warren convinces Sarah to give up her criminal past. They leave New York to start a new life in another city. Oh, it looks like we have 4 now, so that's what I was kind of saying. This will start to kind of get more and more here. After a botched robbery, Sarah's arrested and Warren is left alone, immersed in pain and frustration. He cannot forget her. And rescue. Warren saves Sarah from the mafia, but she ditches him, leaving him to reflect on whether saving her was worth it. I feel like not this one. I feel like it has to be this one, right? This one or this one? She in the secret. Botched robbery. Save Sarah from the mafia, but she ditches him. Okay, let's just do that one. Seems kind of the options, it seems like the best one for what we're going for, right? So let's see, we are number 3 right now. And let's see, so we have 44 airs, and here's where I strategically kept some money for an editor. So we have the option to do this guy who can basically do 0 to 32 corrections in 4 weeks. We can do John, who can do 0 to 24 in 3 weeks, and Eleanor, who is spendy, seems super legit, takes her a while, but she can get 840 done. I think I want to do Eleanor. I saved for it, I should just do it. So let's select her, and we'll say start editing, and I mean, geez, if everything goes well, she could really get all of the airs down for us, which would be great. Oh, she did. Perfect. That's awesome. Love her. Okay. Thank you, Eleanor. So yeah, let's publish. So I'm hoping everything goes well with no errors and I think a pretty solid storyline. So let's see, critics. Oh, look at that. So Tail Tracker says, worth reading despite the shortcomings. Okay. Fiction Frontier, want to shake hands with the author. Thank you. And Quill and Query says the author couldn't have chosen a better theme and genre. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And then from the reader reviews, so a little bit lower than critics, but first one says, it's like diving into a sea of emotions. The adventures of the main characters are truly breathtaking. Wow, thank you. Cool jokes. This book gave me my new favorite character. Awesome. And wonderful book. I read it in one breath. Wow. They can hold their breath for a long time. So awesome. So yeah, this is so much better than our first one. I think it was 4.7 the first time, and now we are at 7.2. So we should make some pretty good money here. Let's see. So let's watch these sales here. Look at that. Ooh, okay. Tanked after 2 weeks, but tanked after 2 weeks, which unfortunately, not sure why. I wish I would kind of give more details, but yeah, so again, like I was saying before, I'm kind of diversifying here now, right? Oh, hold on. Okay, so we won level 6, so it looks like we are going to be moving forward with Andre into level 5, which is awesome. So let's see. The best writer from the prestige perspective, us, perfect. From a ratings perspective, also us. So it looks like they just did like an average between the two. The best book, She and the Secret, perfect. The worst writer, sad. And the worst book, sad. Okay, awesome. And so then this is just showing you who's moving up. What's that? Who's moving up here and kind of who we'll be competing with again. So it looks like we actually stuck with Andre, and it looks like Pablo also ended up coming up. And then we have this new guy, Daniel, that we'll be competing with at the next stage. So I think with that, guys, I'm going to end it here. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Hopefully it gave you a good idea of the gameplay here, and hopefully those were some helpful kind of tips and tricks that we walked through as well. And with that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. If this is something that you enjoyed, please don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment. I know you guys hear that all the time, but it really is helpful for a small, new content creator like me. Those things really do help out the channel and help others find this content too. And as always, I'm open to constructive feedback and, you know, even just new, different games that you want me to try that I'll look at and definitely check out. So definitely put those down in the comments too. And finally, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you joining me today, and I will see you in the next one.